Despite my cheery demeanor, I am feeling and flexible and morally good. Hey guys, this is Frozen Wish Studios here, and welcome back to another movie review. And today, I am going to be doing a review on The Wild Robot. So, The Wild Robot is the latest film from DreamWorks Animation and is directed by Chris Sanders, the co-director of Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Dragon. Although with this film, he is directing it independently and not working with Dean DeBlois this time around. And it stars Lupita Nyong'o, Pedro Pascal, Kit Connor, Bill Nye, Stephanie Hsu, Mark Hamill, Catherine O'Hara, Ving Rhames, Matt Berry, D. Bradley Baker, etc. And so the film tells the story of an intelligent robot called Roz, who what is stranded on an inhabited island after a shipwreck. In order to survive the harsh environment, Roz must bond with the island's animals. However, at first that does not go well as the animals see Roz as a threat and fights back. But one day, she stumbles upon an orphan baby goose named Brightbill, named by her after stumbling upon stumbling upon Brightbill's dead parents, and accidentally hatches the egg. Yeah, she becomes a mother, and a fox named Fink becomes Ross's mentor to try and guide her on this island and try to be like the others, and in order to like help her get along with the other animals. And this makes Roz change from a robot being just a robot to a robot with feelings, and it triggers the other robots from her kind, including Vonstra, who I believe is Roz's creator. I don't know, something like that. Yeah, she invades the island that Roz is in, and now and now the animals must fight back. Sorry, must fight back actual bad robots. So yeah, now so sorry. This review has been delayed for like a lot of weeks, as this film did not come out in my country until this week. Yeah, I was willing to watch this film on like opening day, but unfortunately, yeah, I had to wait that long. But at least I did patiently wait for it, because at least I got other great films, including last week's underrated masterpiece that was Joker Folie à Deux, which I will defend till my dying breath. Now, The Wild Robot was a film that I was actually hyped for. I was hyped for this film ever since I saw that teaser trailer. It blew my socks off, and yeah, that teaser trailer is without a doubt the best DreamWorks trailer yet. Their best trailer yet. I love how this film was marketed as a silent film. And yeah, we all thought that. Although, but considering that this film had a voice cast, there was no surprise that it ended up being a dialogue driven film. Yeah, there's that. And yeah, this was actually one of my most anticipated movies of the year, and let alone one of my most anticipated movies of fall 2024. Yeah, I actually admittedly have never been more hyped for a DreamWorks film than this, and I even was predicting that this was going to be my new favorite DreamWorks film, or at least in my top three favorite DreamWorks films, because that was how hyped I was for this film. Now, with the second trailer, I will admit that yeah, it did make my hype for the film decline slightly, because yeah, that second trailer it was kind of a step down from the first trailer. Yeah, it's not a great trailer. Don't get me wrong, but I don't know. It just didn't make me think that it was going to be the crowning jewel of DreamWorks, like what I was expecting from the teaser trailer. But it still looked very promising, and I still knew that I was going to love this film. And this is a film we definitely need for DreamWorks, as DreamWorks is right now is the definition of an inconsistent studio, a studio that would make either shitty films or masterpieces, depending on what people say. Yeah, after Puss in Boots: Last Wish is critical acclaim and success. Yeah, people look up to DreamWorks to make a film that is up to standards with Puss in Boots too. But that means yeah toxicity with the DreamWorks fandom, because like whenever DreamWorks would make a film that disappoints, DreamWorks fans would go outraged and be like, oh, how dare you make this not be as good as possible still. Yeah, with films like Ruby Killed My Teenage Kraken and Kung Fu Panda 4, two films that I find to be overhated, although Ruby Killed My Teenage Kraken is not that good of a movie. I think it's just alright. The best is just okay. And Kung Fu Panda 4 is certainly overhated. I still enjoy Kung Fu Panda 4. Yeah, people are overreacting towards these two films. Yes, they are disappointing, but come on, guys. Just because they're disappointing, does not mean it's bad. But they wanted to be up to standards with Puss in Boots too. So anything that's not as good as Puss in Boots 2 is an automatic fail. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like DreamWorks fans are so negative when it comes to these films. But The Wild Robot has certainly brought back fans of DreamWorks. Like, yeah, and because this is one of the most critically acclaimed DreamWorks film ever. Not only their most critically acclaimed film of the decade, but I've heard people even go as far as calling it the best animated film of 2024, and it certainly is unanimously agreed upon by everyone to be the best animated film of the year. And some even say it's like some even call it the best movie of the year in general. And so as I heard this one, I will admit that I do think the praise is a little too much, because especially when it comes to being called the best animated film of 2024, because you all know my love for Inside Out 2. Inside Out 2 I think it's the best animated film of the year, and the best movie of the year, my favorite movie of the year, and one of my favorite movies ever. But even people who initially called Inside Out 2 the best animated film of the year, the best movie of the year, are the people who would eventually call The Wild Robot the best movie of the year after seeing it. So it's kind of a shame that almost little to no one says that Inside Out 2 is better than The Wild Robot. And heck, I've heard some people say that Transformers 1 is slightly better than The Wild Robot. And yes, after seeing The Wild Robot for myself, to see what the praises are on about, I gotta say, I agree with everyone else that The Wild Robot is a fucking masterpiece. What an outstanding film this was, especially for DreamWorks standards. Yeah, I was saying that I was impressed with the film would be a huge understatement. This is this movie was absolutely incredible. However, I don't agree with the general consensus calling this the best DreamWorks film, let alone the best animated film of the year. I think there are DreamWorks films that I would rank above this. I'll let you know which ones in my top 10 best DreamWorks movies list, which I was originally going to do after The Wild Robot, but I actually need to give some DreamWorks films a rewatch in order to properly make that video. But and I would say that it did not top Inside Out 2 as as the best animated film of the year. But I would say The Wild Robot, this would be my second favorite animated film of the year, second only behind the Inside Out 2. Well, I do think that War of the Rohirrim and Moana 2 do have a chance of topping this one, so maybe this could be my fourth favorite animated film of the year by the end of the year, but we'll see. Of course, this film is going to be mainly praised for using the comic book animation style, and I gotta say, the animation is gorgeous. Love how the animation isn't trying to be a lot like Spider Verse, since I'm sure people are going to compare this to Spider Verse a lot, and yeah, especially with how it's a mix of 2D and 3D animation. But I would say the animation is more like Wish, where the animation, despite it being like 2D and 3D and comic booky, it would be more smooth than cartoony with all these flashy effects and all that stuff. Even the designs of the animals are very similar to the animals from Wish, including like the Mark Hamill bear Thorn and the reindeer. Yeah, they look so similar to those like, in fact, they're so similar that I honestly thought that I made a joke in my mind about them about to sing "I'm a Star." Yeah, like these animals they are capable of singing "I'm a Star." Yeah, that how cool would that be? And as beautiful as the animation was, it's not among the very best aspects of the film, which goes to show how much substance was put into it. Like, where do I even start with the other aspects? Yeah, Chris Bowers' score was absolutely fantastic, and honestly, yeah, I can see why people say this score is Oscar worthy. Yeah, nominated because yeah, this score goes incredibly hard. It almost feels like the kind of score you'd hear Hans Zimmer do, or yeah, and yeah, what a beautiful and let alone an emotional score. In a way, the score captures the feeling and the aesthetics of the movie, especially with the dun 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 dun. Dun. Yeah, sorry, I'm not doing the score justice. Although best score of the year, I don't agree. Yeah, I still think Andrea Datzman's score for Inside Out 2 would still be my favorite score of the year. The story is very rich as it talks about growth and belonging. It leans heavily towards Ross's character development, where she starts off as your typical robot who knows nothing about the forest and the island, but the animals fear her. But once a few animals decide to be nice to Ross and help her achieve her goals, Ross learns to feel emotions no other robots can. Yeah, it has a great message that your family doesn't always have to be super identical to you, despite pretty much similar to how a human can have a family despite not having the same blood type. And speaking of humans, I love how this movie had little to no humans except for a few sequences where humans can be seen as background characters. And yeah, but despite Roz being like a great main character with great development, all the other characters are great too. With like a few of them that I would call better than Roz. One of which being Bright Bill. Not only is Bright Bill adorable as hell, especially as a baby, but he is the heart and emotion of the film. I can see why a lot of people cried at this film. Even though I would say I almost cried, but not quite. Yeah, but I can understand why people would cry. Yeah, it's nowhere near as emotional as Inside Out 2. Yeah, I mean, there are no scenes in the film like the scene in Inside Out 2 where pretty much Joy like revives I'll just say the scene where Stannis was like, Joy, Riley wants you, and then Riley and then Joy starts to push like the buttons which makes Riley start to become happy again and happily play hockey. No scene in the Wild Robot is comes anywhere close to the level of emotions at that scene. That scene I mentioned Inside Out 2, I like literally sobbed. Yeah. And I would say that I'd say that Bright Bill is probably the best written and developed character in the film. Yeah, you really feel bad though for him as he pretty much becomes abnormal, considering that his mother's a robot and his real mother was killed off in the beginning of the film. Yeah, but Fink wanted it to be a secret so that Bright Bill wouldn't be emotionally and mentally damaged. But of course he becomes mentally damaged because guess what, somebody told the Bright Bill that Ross quote unquote killed his parents. even though technically it's not Ross's fault, as she just like stumbled upon Bright Bill's parents dying. The mother and son relationship between Ross and Bright Bill, what was the heart of the film. And the scenes where I nearly cried had something to do with the relationship between Ross and Bright Bill, especially in the scene which I'm gonna talk about my favorite scene in the film right now. My favorite scene in the film is the third act on board the Vontra ship. I'll talk about Vontra later, but and then we see like basically Bright Bill trying to rescue Roz on the ship, and then he sees Roz powered off, and then like Bright Bill lays on her like nearly crying, and he's like I'm sorry, I blamed you for my real parents' death. I love you. And then we see like Roz powering up once Bright Bill says I love you. Man, that was a powerful moment right there. Yeah, I think I'm shocked that nobody talks about Bright Bill, and despite complimenting the movie for its emotional moments. Not many people recognize the fact that mention the fact that it's Bright Bill who makes the movie emotional. I think he's also a great character, an adorable fox, and especially the fact that he's the reason Roz became the way she is. He's the reason behind Roz's progression. Without him, Roz would not have progressed at all. But my personal favorite character in the film would have to be Vontra. I know nobody's going to agree with me on that because of the fact that people consider her to be the weakest part of the film. And not to mention, some people said that she was unnecessary and the movie did not need to be a villain. Okay, well, yeah, that's a part that's an aspect that I'm going to have to defend, because yes, I highly defend Vontra herself and the idea and the decision to make the movie have a villain. The reason why there is a villain in The Wild Robot, and I mean unnecessary one, is because we needed to know about Ross's kind and how they respond to Ross living amongst the wilderness. And Vontra is basically like the leader of the robots. Maybe she created Ross, I'm not sure. I can't confirm on that, but we'll have to see about that. Yes, considering that Ross decided that she prefers living with the animals over the other robots. Yeah, the other robots pretty much they pretty much respond by getting triggered over Ross siding with the animals, and I think it's such a great idea to see Roz trying to be different, and not being just another robot while the other robots are just another robots. Yeah, that's why Vontra was necessary. Now yes, did she need did she need more screen time? Did Vontra need more screen time? Yeah, I know some people mentioned that, but honestly, I did not mind at all. I know that she only appeared in the third act of the film, but it made sense for her to be in the film less, because the film was not about the other robots, but rather it's about Ross's relationship with the other animals. So that needed to be fully developed first before we got to that part. And thankfully though, I never, not once did I get impatient waiting for Vontra to come, because of just how invested I was on the other things. So with Ross and the animals, because if I was not invested in that, if they somehow made a movie boring, I would have been like, oh, what the fuck is Vontra? We need Vontra. The voice cast was absolutely terrific, from the likes of Lupita Nyong'o, Kit Connor, Pedro Pascal, Mark Hamill, Catherine O'Hara, Bill Nye, and especially Stephanie Shu. The fact that Vontra was voiced by Stephanie Shu was the main reason why she's my favorite character in the film. Stephanie Shu does such a perfect job portraying a robot, almost like as if she could have been even more of a perfect fit to voice Roz than Lupita Nyong'o. And it's nice to see her play a villain role once again after Jobu Tupaki, whom might be neck to neck with King Magnifico as my favorite movie villain of all time. I have to debate on that. The film had the balls to be intense as well and kind of dark with some mild violence, threats, and even it even had a jump scare in the beginning, which was equally as scary as that Mr. Allerton jump scaring Nick Wilde in Zootopia. It's also a very mature film with no dumb kids humor to be found. There is humor, but the humor is actually hilarious. Yeah, the humor is actually pretty funny as hell. What else is there to say? Oh yeah, and also yeah, that climax, that climax was epic. And that's actually another reason on why I defend the decision to include villains, because we needed something very climactic like that. We needed something very climactic. Because if there was no villain, then the movie would have felt anticlimactic. Very anticlimactic. Yeah, but yeah, the forest fight scene was absolutely badass. Seeing and there are other aspects. There are other moments in the film that that I was that I would consider among my favorite scenes in the film. Like the beginning of the film where the beginning of the film on the island, which immediately sets up the dark tone with some intense moments, intensity, and also the scene where sorry about that. I'm coughing. The scene where Bright Bill learns how to fly, which was such a blast. And also the scene with Bright Bill migrating with the other goose. And of course, the scene where the other scene that I mentioned, which I considered my favorite scene in the entire film. So overall, oh yeah, by the way, I forgot to mention as well. This film has a great soundtrack too. Like Billie Eilish's "Birds of a Feather" and also "Kiss the Sky" as well, which is a guaranteed nominee for best original song. Yeah, if I were to say which song is better, I would say I'll have to think about it honestly. So overall, The Wild Robot is a film that deserves all the praise it gets, even if I wouldn't call it better than Inside Out 2 myself, nor the best DreamWorks movie ever. But it is certainly a top tier DreamWorks movie for sure. Yeah, I would even go as far as saying that this is the best Chris Sanders movie yet, topping both Lilo and Stitch and How to Train Dragon 1. Oh, but don't worry, Harry Thomas. If you're gonna be like, what, Frozen? How could you say it's better than How to Train Dragon? I will say, spoiler alert, for my DreamWorks movies, my top 10 favorite DreamWorks movies list, it is better than it is I prefer How to Train Dragon 2 over this one. And I'd say this movie's on par with How to Train Dragon: The Hidden World. I am debating on which one I prefer, but you'll eventually see it. And when it comes to the Oscars, everybody says that this film is going to win Best Anime Film feature at the Oscars. And honestly, I'm not going to be mad at all. And I can kind of see this being an Oscar-worthy feature, knowing how good it was. But can we at least admit that Inside Out 2 is also an award-worthy film too? I would say that Inside Out 2 deserves at least a Golden Globe for Best Animated Feature. So with that said, guys, I'm going to give The Wild Robot, of course, a 10 out of 10. Oh, by the way, if you guys can hear the background noise, I do apologize because it is raining pretty strong as hell right now. I had to make my voice louder because I couldn't hear myself, and and by the way, I know my throat might be a little iffy with me coughing, but don't worry, my throat is kind of recovered. Yeah, unlike yesterday where I did not get to do an out of theater reaction because of my my throat and my voice crack. But now my voice is a little better. I'm not that better, but at least healthy enough for me to to make this review. So yeah, anyways, that's all for my review of The Wild Robots. What are your thoughts on the film? Do you think that this is the best anime film of the year and the best DreamWorks movie ever? Or would you agree with me that Inside Out 2 is still the best anime film of the year? Comment down below, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay tuned for more videos to come. I haven't decided yet on which one, but I may get started with my Halloween reviews as I got a couple of movies to review for Halloween month. So yeah, bye guys.